Hey everybody, Brian Pate coming to you live today. So I've had a couple of issues with clarification of some things that I've said, and I've been misquoted, and I want to make sure that I'm very clear with folks on what I have suggested with the new rules and regulations under the buyer's agency agreement. So I want to make sure that everybody understands and that I'm clear. And so hopefully today's Facebook Live will help clear this up. Number one, MLS cannot be used to communicate compensation of agents. You can use it to communicate a concession by the seller at the buyer for anything that the buyer wants to choose. If it's a $500,000 house and you'd really like to pay a 2% commission, but you can't advertise that, you can offer $10,000 in closing costs as a concession, and the buyer can use that to be able to pay for it. But you cannot advertise anything to do with compensation in the MLS in any way, shape, or form. I've heard a lot of agents talking about, well, I'm just going to do all caps that this house is 2.4 bedrooms or something like that. That's not allowed. Period. Stop trying to circumvent the system on MLS. Don't let it happen. Period. It's not allowed under the rules and regulations. Now, also, this is where a little confusion came. Someone said that I said, well, just use showing time and attach Form 220 to showing time. I did not say that. I had never said that. Showing time cannot be used in order to communicate the compensation agreement. The settlement's been very clear on this one. The Raleigh Regional Association of Realtors, Canopy Association, they've all said that the showing system cannot be used to automatically communicate something. So that's number two. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Form 220. This form's been around for a while in different iterations, but now it becomes a much more important form in the process. So I want to go through, and if you want to pull up a copy of one just to be able to look at it, you certainly can do so. I've got one over here to this side of me so that I can look and verify for reference. But here's how it works. Here's the quick review of this entire form. Here's my notes on a half a page. We're going to go through this real quick. Number one, the first part of it, sorry, I hit my microphone arm. The first part of it is merely identifying the seller's name and the property. We haven't identified the buyer's name yet because the listing agent is putting this together. The listing agent can provide this to everybody that makes a showing. As a listing agent, if you wait until the buyer's agent brings this to you when they bring an offer, that's going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and get the compensation out there on the table right off the bat. Just get done with it. In the words of the great philosopher, Larry the Cable Guy, let's just get it done. Okay, so identify who these people are. Paragraph 1 is merely identifying who's paying and how much. Is it going to be the listing firm paying? Are you charging 5.5% and paying 2.75% to the buy side and from the listing company? Or are you merely charging your 2.5%, 3.5%, 4%, whatever your listing fee may be? And is the seller going to pay the compensation to the buyer's agent directly? That's always been a choice. We've always had this choice. There's nothing new here. It is the exact same thing that we've been doing for years. Listing agents and sellers have talked about how to pay buyer's agents for the last at least 31 years based on my experience in the real estate business. So you just got to identify, is it a flat fee? Is it a percentage? Or is there some other way that is being paid? And that's all you're doing in paragraph 1 under the fee on Form 220. The second paragraph is merely the payment of the fee. It's due at closing. It's due at closing. Keep it simple. It's already pre-printed in there and it's ready to go. The fee will be paid at closing is defined in the contract unless otherwise agreed upon. Paragraph 3 is the terms, effectiveness, and expiration. If for some reason the sale of the property falls through and the buyer agent thinks they should still be paid, then you would use this part of the form. Probably not going to happen in most cases because it's a success fee, the way that we've done our commissions in North Carolina, our compensations. I'm trying to stop saying commission. We should be using the word compensation. But your compensation has always been paid in this case only on a successful closing. Finally, the last piece is all the mumbo jumbo. This is where the attorneys got a hold of it. Sorry for all my friends. Bob Ramseur, if you're watching this, I apologize. I'm not making fun of anybody, but this is where the attorneys get involved. It's the merger, the modification, if it's assigned, it's who's enforcing it, where's the governing law, etc. So that's page one of it. Page two is merely the signatures. So here's the key. If the listing firm is paying this, then only the representative of the listing firm needs to sign it. It is not a requirement that the seller and the listing agent both sign this. It is not a requirement. Whoever's paying should be signing. It's them agreeing to do so. That's the key here. It's going to depend on who's made a part of this agreement. Then on the buy side, you'll need to identify both the buyer's agent and the buyers so that they are aware of what that payout is. So that's really all there is on Form 220. Now, where there's been some confusion is how I've recommended that we go about this. I did not say provide a link via showing time. I did not say provide a link via MLS. What I am recommending is that you use G Drive, Dropbox, or any number of different systems where you can communicate files to each other. We send files to each other all the time through Google Drive or Dropbox, and this is just simply another link that you are going to have. When you look at the Google Drive, it's going to include the same thing that the document manager includes. Because remember, you may have some buyers that come to the table unrepresented. There will be some buyers out there that they decide, hey, I don't want to have an agent. I want to save my $10, $12, $15,000, so I'm going to represent myself. You as the listing agent have to be ready for that. So you're going to need all of these documents: the residential property disclosure form, the mineral oil and gas rights, lead-based paint if the house is built prior to 1978, floor plans, septic permits, whatever it may be. You're going to need all of that information that you would normally let the other agent download from the document manager. You're now going to have it in an additional file. The other thing you can do in this file, so you can send it to both agents and to potential buyers, is just upload Form 220 to it. And what I've done, I'm going to leave an example on it. I can't figure out how to put a comment on here to react. Let me see if I can get this in here. I'm going to put under the comments a link to the one that I'm using right now for one of my listings. And you can click on this and you can see how I've got it set up. But literally everything, from the survey to the certificate of occupancy, all of that stuff is in this file for my clients, so that if any buyer's agent makes an appointment to show it, I send them this quick link. So get to know your short link systems like Bitly or Google Link Shortener, all of those, and so that you can customize. You see the address of the property here is 1292 Pocomoke. Might as well get a little advertising out of this today, by the way. Great house, $510,000 out in Franklinton. Anyway, all the information you could have about Pocomoke is in there, and you can see how I've actually set it up. When someone makes an appointment to see the listing that I represent, I am going to merely save this link on my notes on my phone. I see the request for the showing come through. I copy it, I paste it, and I send it to the other agent. Keep it simple. People are trying to make it so complicated, and it's really not necessary. I hope that helps everyone. I know we've got a lot of people that are coming to see me and Travis on August 15th for our session on this here. We're going to get a little bit more deep into it. We're going to be able to answer some questions. We're probably going to do that a couple of more times as we go through the end of the year here, because there are lots of people with lots of questions, and we want to try to help everybody out and make sure you understand. So I hope you have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to leave this up here for posterity so that you can have the opportunity to go back and see it if you need to. Thanks, and have a great day.